Hello everyone and welcome back to another Kerbal Space Program tutorial. And today I'm going to show you how to build a rocket. And since this is Kerbal Space Program, a rocket is, well, the easiest to build in this program, and there are the most different parts for a rocket. So, first I'm going to show you the necessary parts you need to have a usable rocket, and they're going to show up right here on the right. And so the first thing you're going to need is a command pod. This is the most important part, as this is where your crew or Kerbals sit in. You're also going to need a parachute, and this will save your Kerbal when you're coming to land, otherwise the rocket will crash. You're going to need a fuel tank with fuel, so your engine can have something to run on. And last but not least, you're going to need an engine, as your rocket won't work without it. So let's just grab a Mark 1 command pod, and as you can see here on crew capacity, it holds one Kerbal. So now we're going to add a parachute right on the top, and the Mark 16 parachute is the right size for the Mark 1 command pod, because the others are for the bigger command pods, like that. And there are some radial ones, like this. And now we're going to put in a fuel tank. Since we're going to use liquid fuel, you can also use solid fuel, which produces normally more thrust, but it burns much faster. We're going to grab the FLT 800 fuel tank, as it holds quite an amount of fuel. Our rocket is beginning to take shape, and now we're going to add an engine. There are a lot to select from, but for the Mark 1 engines, you're mostly going to be using this one, or this one. When you're flying in the atmosphere, the Reliant is probably the best option, as it produces the most thrust, unlike this one or this one. And since this isn't a plane, the fuel tank contains liquid fuel and oxidizer, which is basically air. As there isn't any air in space, then you're going to need air in a fuel tank. So that's basically what the oxidizer is for. And so here we have a very basic rocket. And now, if we want to make it more flyable, we're going to go into the aerodynamics tab here and choose a small winglet, like this. But if there's one that will look very stupid and it won't be very stable, so here on cycle symmetry count, I'm going to select it to 4. I'm going to toggle the snap, just like this. And now here we have a very flyable rocket, which should get us pretty high, but not in space. And now here, if I just launch my rocket now, the engine and parachute would deploy at once, at the same time. So you're going to click on the plus here, and now we have another stage. And so you're going to click on the engine and put it here. And now whenever you press the space bar, then a new stage will activate. And so if I press the space bar when I'm launching now, the engine will go first, and when the fuel runs out and I press space bar again, then the parachute will deploy. So let's name our rocket something. I'm going to name it Typhoon 1. Now, if you go into the crew section, this is the Kerbal that you're going to use. You can choose another one, like this, but Jebediah is the ace pilot and he's the best. So we're going to use him. Now, when you click on save, that will save your rocket. And now you can click on launch. At But now this will take us into the launch pad so we can launch our rocket. Okay, so here we are. This is our rocket. Yep, this is it. And so here is Jebediah Kerman. You can view him. This is what he sees. And so now for takeoff. You will probably want to click on T to trigger the SAS, as that will make your rocket more stable. And Shift is to make the throttle go up, is to make the throttle more powerful. And Control is to make the throttle less powerful. Control and Shift. You can also click on Z. That'll make your throttle go straight to max, and or X. That will completely cut your throttle. And so, if I click the spacebar, you can see that this is activated now, and if I press Shift or Z, our rocket will take off. And yes, this is our rocket flying away. If I press A, that will make our rocket go left. I'm going to head over there. L, that makes it go over there. S, D, yep. Those are the primary controls. This is actually going pretty well. And we've reached 1000 meters per second, which is about Mach 3. And I'm going to cut the engine now. And we can have a look at our orbit. And if we continue all the way like this, we can reach space, which is going to be pretty cool. Yes, we could reach space. But because when I'm coming through the atmosphere really fast, the rocket goes really the rocket really heats up. So I doubt if this would survive a re-entry. If I didn't go into space, I probably would, but I'm going to go back to the vehicle assembly building and add something, two things actually, that will make our rocket survive the re-entry. So if I click on this and move it away, we'll be back with our command pod. And so if you go into the thermal section here, we have heat shields. This will protect your aircraft during re-entry. And so heat shields have ablator that basically protects your aircraft. And so the Mark 1 size for the heat shield is the 1.25. Just put it here. However, if I just put this here, then that will do absolutely nothing, because this will still be here. I can't disattach it, decouple it. And that's what we're just going to add, decouplers. And so if I go into coupling right here, we have several different types of decouplers, going all the way from the Mark 0 to something like this. And so the size for the Mark 1 is this one. So if you just put it on this green node, you'll see a fairing come up and a new stage here. So if I click the spacebar when I'm re-entering, then everything that's under this decoupler will disattach from the rocket. And so if I attach this back on, then we have a working rocket right here. And so we may now launch, but we're going to need to have another stage. So I'm going to move the engine down again. So first it'll be engine, then when we're coming back, decoupler, and then when we've almost hit the ground, the parachute. I'm going to save and launch the rocket. And here we have our rocket. And you probably noticed that it's no longer so white. I'm not sure what that was. But yeah, so T, Z to make the throttle go on to max, and spacebar. And we've taken off. As you see, Jebediah Kerman is really happy. If I click on here, we might be able to see him. Yep. Ha. I'm going to fly over there. This is a very maneuverable and stable rocket because we winglets. Now we're going at Mach, I'm not sure, almost 4. Okay, that's Mach 4. And we've used up all of our fuel. And we're almost in space. Let's have a look at our orbit. Okay, we'll get quite past space. I'm going to turn on the lights. And now you see we have ablator, which is in the heat shield. Now I'm going to speed up a bit. And yay! We've reached space for the first time. Now you can hear the music. And there's the man. That's very good. Now I'm going to speed up, because this will take a while, to our re-entry. Now you see these here. If you click on retrograde, that will automatically make your rocket go to the retrograde sign. That is this. And now I'm going to decouple soon, because we're out of space. Now I click the spacebar, and all that's left of is the heat shield and the parachute and the Mark 1 command pod, and that will probably burn up and explode in Kerbin's atmosphere, which you see we're getting quite low. We're going incredibly fast, Mark 4. That is incredible. Well, Jebediah Kerman isn't so happy now. His spacecraft is burning up. And we're slowing down so much that it's causing huge tremors. Oh, that actually didn't explode yet. Okay, when this parachute goes grey, that means we can deploy it right now. If I click on the spacebar, then you can see your parachute. And if I right click on it, then it will deploy when we reach the altitude of 1000 meters, which is basically 1 kilometer. And that is pretty safe. And our last stage has gone. Okay. We're almost touching down in the water. And any minute now, the parachute should deploy. And it's deployed. And we're safe. Yep, that was a successful mission. Let's have a look at our craft. Let's speed this up a bit. I mean, we're only going at 6 meters per second. and touchdown. So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope this tutorial showed you some of the basics about building a rocket. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe. See you soon.